times. And over the years, we became friends. And Laura sent me her script when she wrote it. And she said, tell me what you think. And I thought, oh no, because if somebody you love sends you a script and it's not good, then you have to say, I respected your vision, or whatever it is you have to come up with, And it was funny. I loved it. I thought it was terrific. And I told her that. And she said, well, we would love for you to be involved in it in some way. And I thought, oh, please let me be the therapist. Please let me be the therapist. She said, what do you think about being the therapist? I said, great. She said, share with your friends, because we're also looking for some other actors and some producers. And I thought, wait, I've never produced anything before. We had a longer conversation about that. And I said, I want to be your co-EP. I want the three of us to make decisions together. And I'd like to be your only other producer. This all happened within 24 hours. And then we were off to the races.
And speaking about also producing the movie, I wanted to ask about that experience as well, and how you maybe balanced producing with acting, and what that experience was like being a producer as well.
Acting was so fun, and producing is so stressful. When you're an actor, you get to enjoy your scenes, and then once you're done with them, you say goodbye until it's time to do some press. And when you are a producer, you are worried about locations being open, you're worried about permitting, you're worried about budgeting, and then ultimately you're quite worried about the final cut, which means you have to watch it during the editing process over and over. And I really hate watching myself on camera, like really hate it. So there were about 6 nights there in a row where I watched the movie from start to finish and had to make notes. Everybody was terrific, but maybe cut sooner here, add a little music here. And then I would see my scenes and I would think, you need to fire that person. She sucks. So that was a little painful, but that was maybe the worst part.
And also, speaking, like you mentioned earlier, about working with Laura, what was that experience like, collaborating with her, like, since she also starred and produced and directed overall?
Her sister Danielle was also a huge part of the production, and we had a very largely female cast and a lot of female crew, and of course it was only female EPs written and directed. And to have an experience that was so female forward was really, we didn't intend to do that necessarily, but it was great. It was so great. It was one of the easiest sets I've ever been on. We didn't take ourselves too seriously. We wrapped early almost every day. There was so little ego on the set. We got it done. We thought it was good. We moved along. Imagine a really good mom running a production. That's how it went.
And also, speaking about how it was largely like a female cast and crew, and what was that experience like, especially with the crew, to have so many women on set, like in charge in those positions as well?
I would say one of the things I loved is that the businesses, I've been in the business now 20 years, right? So it's changed. There are so many more women behind the camera than there used to be. In all different areas, not just wardrobe or set design, but in, camera operators and line producers. And I loved seeing how nonchalantly present they were. We had a lot of women working behind the scenes and they were fantastic, and it was no big deal. That's changed.
And with your background on television, especially with Law and Order being such a serious topic, and this having a lot more comedy, was that something that you also enjoy, like trying out the comedy and just being more, like, I guess, free to like maybe improvise or be comedic on screen as well?
It is such a treat to be a part of a comedy. One of the things that a lot of people don't know about the cast of Law and Order SVU is that we all have a really good sense of gallows humor, and that's part of how you survive long hours on a show with that kind of subject matter. But it is really fun to be able to give rise to your goofier, sillier self and have that be the job itself. I loved it. I loved every minute of it.
And with the movie being about social media and how that affects people, and your role as a therapist and helping like the social media influencers, do you feel that was important also in the times, like modern times, of people being so reliant on social media and technology? And do you feel like this was an important commentary on that as well?
I really like it because I think it is a love letter to a certain generation of people who have grown up with social media. And I always say about this movie, if you love social media influencers and you love to hate social media influencers, this is the movie for you.
Mhm. And with this being also like a mockumentary style, the way it was shot, what was that experience as well? Like both as a producer and actress, and learning how to shoot in that style as
I loved it. I like being a straight man. I don't really have a tremendous
well.
gift for physical comedy. So it allowed me to be very serious about being one of the world's worst therapists. I mean, she's
Hmm.
so bad. She's so stupid and she's so self important. And to be able to take yourself very seriously like that, I think is, what can I say? A lot of fun. It's a lot of fun
Hmm.
to be a fatuous idiot.
Hmm. And with the rest of the cast, for the producing side, were you involved in casting at all, or what was that process like of
I
having?
was not I was involved in kind of final selection casting, but I was not in the room, and I'm so glad. I've done so many auditions. I do not think that I could be in the room with another actor without saying, "That was so good. Even if
Hmm.
you don't get it, I want you to know how good you were. I know you worked hard on this. I know you took time off from your job to be here. Oh my goodness, thank you." I mean, I
Hmm.
don't know that I could get the actor part of me out of that room. So I think it's
Hmm.
good that it stood where it did.
Hmm. And as an actress as well, what was it like getting to work with the rest of the cast on screen as well and on set, and really work out those relationships on screen as well?
Those people are so talented.
Mhm.
So many of our cast members are from Upright Citizens Brigade, or I should say the late Upright Citizens Brigade, a group of tremendously funny, talented improvisers, and they're all so young. And it was, I mean, I don't know. I felt like I got invited to the cool kids party. I liked it a lot.
Mhm. And when you signed on to star in the film, what was it like to really prepare the character and really work it out to bring her to screen? And what was that experience like?
Oh, I've had a lot of therapy, so it was mostly just reviewing some notes.
Mm-hmm.
It was not terribly involved.
Hmm. And with the movie coming out digitally, why do you feel that method is so beneficial now, especially in the recent months, to have like such a big presence digitally online as well?
Well, I think that we are very lucky that we had always intended to have our digital presence. That was always the goal. I think it's complicated to it's I'm so proud of the production and I love it and I think it's funny and I think it's a wonderful antidote to a lot of what's in the news right now. That being said, you want to be sure you're not inappropriately promoting yourself in the middle of, about 100 things that are really, really important. So it's a fine line. It's a fine line.
Mhm. And what was it like from as a producer on the producer side to find the locations and figure out where you were going to film the movie as well?
I let Danielle and Laura do a lot of the hard work and then I just took credit for it. So it's pretty easy.
I think that was mainly it, but thank you again for taking the time out. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Mhm. Thanks
Take
again.
care.
Yeah.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye bye.